What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, overall, I wanted to talk on something because I know people will probably ask, like, would I ever get into any more drama and beef again? And honestly, no. Because my thing is, like, it was never like I put myself in a situation where I was gonna be beefing and getting into it with people. A lot of times, like, people was just overall mad at the fact that I said or did something. Like when you look back on the Minnesota boy beef, he was mad at the fact that I wasn't agreeing with him on hating white people. And I'm like, fam, some of the closest people in my life are white. Like, I can't help it if I'm more cooler with white people than I am with you. Like, and they don't be acting all racist towards me and stuff. So that's why I'm like, fam, where are you getting at with all of this? Like, okay, your own personal experience with white people is your own personal experience. I've had my own personal experience with white people and racist white people. But we need to, like, understand the differences and, separate, like, white people and racist white people. Trust me, there is a difference, okay? Like, it's just crazy that, people don't sit down and take the time to think about that, but there's a major difference between that. But even with that beef, it was because I overall reacted to his video and he was mad at the fact that I didn't agree with him. Now, if I would have been in that video talking about, oh yeah, I don't like white people, I hate them, calling them every other racist derogatory name in the book, he would have had no problem with what I said. He probably would have wanted to do content with me. But the fact that I disagreed with him, that's why he overall was like doing streams in the middle of the night, telling his fans to dislike my videos and stuff. And so that's why I was like, this is just stupid. Like, it's at the end of the day, it was like I knew I had won that beef between me and him. It was something where I'm like, okay, well, let's see who stays on YouTube the longest. Let's just see that. And also, it's like you go up to white people with that same energy and stuff and see how you overall, like, where you overall go with that. Because I'm telling you right now, you're what was that guy saying in that video, that TikTok video that was blowing up? You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. So yeah, that's why I was like, with him, it was like, hey, it's whatever. And then with the Just a Robot situation, I'm like, that is probably the most toxic fan base I've ever seen on YouTube. Like, I would rather beef with any other person on YouTube except that fan base, because they would do some of the most backward stuff where it's like, oh, we'll say this, do this, and there won't be no consequences or repercussions behind it. But as soon as you come out and defend yourself, oh, now you're bullying people, now you're attacking little kids, now you're attacking autistic people, now you're doing this, now you're doing that. Like, I'm supposed to know at the end of the day who are these people and stuff. All I know is that it's a bunch of weirdos coming after me because I like doing reaction videos. So that's why I'm like, and it's funny, I'm like, some of the people within that community, what were they doing? Reaction videos. So I'm like, hey, before you guys jump on me about stuff, how about y'all take a look around your guys' community? Because y'all doing the same content that I'm doing. So anyways, yeah, it's just funny. It was like how backwards that community was. But anyways, but overall, like, answering that question, would I ever want to get any more drama again? And that's why I'm, overall doing this episode. Originally, this episode was supposed to be titled, like, Moving On. But I was like, you know what? Like, it's a good concept on what this episode is. So I'm just going to, title it, like, would I ever get into any more drama again? And to answer the question, no, I don't want to. That was never, and for anybody that's new to just me in general, like, if you're new to my podcast, if you're new to my YouTube videos and all of that, it was never my intentions to get into beef and drama in the first place when I originally, joined YouTube back in 2010. Back in 2010, when I was this, like, mindless kid, and I felt like at times I had, like, a lot of, like, mindless, moments and years with YouTube where I wasn't really focused on what content that I wanted to do. And then it was like, for, the 4 years where I was getting into it with Just a Robot, I felt like that was just that mindless kid all over again. I wasn't really thinking on the bigger picture. And with me, the bigger picture with YouTube is entertaining people. you know, like overall like entertaining people and helping out people, you know, like to know that my content has helped out people, like that's something that I never thought I would have like heard, like where there's people telling me that my videos have helped them with depression, or my videos just, you know, puts a smile on their face, or there's people out there that have told me like just me simply shouting them out, like I've brought people to tears, you know, like that joy, like that just happiness where it's like they get so happy that they cry, you know, to know that I've done that for people, and then to turn back around and see that, you know, the weirdness and the beefing and the drama, like I'm looking forward to the career that I'm, you know, gonna have with YouTube, because honestly this past year with YouTube has probably been the best year I've had since I think this is honestly the best year I've ever had with YouTube. Like I really have elevated, you know, my career with YouTube, and to know like that's the path that I'm on, where all I really need to do is just make content and entertain people. And then sooner or later, I'm going to be in that position that I've always wanted to be at with YouTube. So that's why I'm like, I can't be that person where I'm beefing, because at the end of the day, I for those that have never gotten into like beef and drama with YouTube, so many people will probably ask like, well, what is it like? You know, it's time consuming. It honestly, it's time consuming, and it's a waste of time at that. Like, you don't accomplish anything when you do get into it with people. Even when you're a bigger YouTuber and stuff, like let's say you're a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, like yeah, a lot of people are gonna talk on it, you're gonna get views, you know, people are gonna, you know, be all over it and stuff, probably gonna even be hassling you to do a YouTube boxing match. But at the end of the day, like, you really don't accomplish anything when you're being hateful on YouTube. Like, look at the you know, at this for an example, but KSI and Logan Paul. Now, when those guys was hating on each other, yeah, people was talking about it, people was blowing it up, but I feel like it's even more important now to see those guys being cool with each other. Like, it stood out so much more than to see, because you see it all the time. You see it more often than you see it where a person will become cool with each other. You know, like if you see like a street fight going on, you're just like, oh my god, it's crazy. But how many street fights have you seen? How many street fights have you have witnessed? You witnessed a lot, right? So it's like, you know, what, to just put you in them shoes where it's like you've witnessed a lot of street fights. Now, and how many of those street fights have you seen both of the parties get up, shake each other's hand, give each other a hug, and then you see them being cool with each other for the remainder of your life? Like, you'll see that and you'll just be like, dang, like, when people say anything is possible, anything is really possible. Because you never would have guessed it that, oh, you know, people that was getting into it with each other left and right, I didn't think that they would be cool with each other. Now look, they some of the coolest like duos ever. And I'm like, yeah, that the whole KSI and Logan Paul situation, to see like how cool they are with each other, it's crazy, because it's like something that I never would have guessed it. I never would have guessed that they would have been cool with each other and stuff. So to see that, it honestly, you know, it makes me happy to see that. And I'm like, I'm not even a part of this situation. So, but anyways, but yeah, it was like, to me, when you sit down and think about it, what did they accomplish? You know, yeah, they, you know, where like pretty much were like the opening people for YouTube boxing. They stirred up, you know, some views and all of that. But what did it, at the end of the day, what did it accomplish for them? Nothing. But KSI, and then look at them now, where Logan Paul has this like dope podcast and KSI is doing his music. That's what's elevated those guys' career. Them beefing with each other, it's like, okay, it's like when you sit down and think about it, them beefing with each other is like 1 minute rice or something. Is that even a thing? Like, I don't know, it's like that food they only be cooking for a minute, rather than like, you know, when you like that ain't all that interesting. You know, you just put some top ramen in the microwave, cook it for a few minutes, and then you take it out. But seeing how them donuts is made and Krispy Kremes, like, you know, like, I'm just follow my example, because I know people get like a little carried away. But no, just follow my example. But when you see like the creation, or when you like the creation of something, and that's overall like KSI, like, you know, comparing it to what like KSI's music and Logan Paul's podcast and his vlogs and all that stuff, and KSI and all his other videos, like when you see the creation of that stuff and see how much they put into it versus like a 2 minute fight, you know, or a video of them going at it with each other. Okay, yeah, there's those moments and things, like there's those moments where it slaps, there's those moments where it's like, you know, something happens out of it all, but at the end of the day, like, it didn't do anything for them. They still want more. And so anyways, that's why I'm like, yeah, you know, at times it's, you know, that beefing and that drama, it ain't even worth it. It's not worth it at all. And I think a lot of people need to know that. And when I see, like, you know, YouTubers, when I see YouTubers like Gabby Hanna, and she's like beefing with all of these different people, because lately I've been watching a lot of like videos on her, mainly from my friend, shout out to my friend Ray Rahimi, but she has a YouTube channel called Hot Tea, and she overall talks on like all the stuff that's going on with Gabby Hanna, Trisha Paytas, and how Gabby Hanna, like how it's just, man, oh my god, it's like so many things going on with them, but it's like nobody is like not really paying attention to it. Like, it's not impactful, you know, it ain't gonna like leave a mark in history. And it's like, I think Gabby Hanna has said that at some point in time, where it's all like she wants people to, like, you know, they're gonna be talking about this years from now. I'm like, no, they're not. People, my thing is this, people, you know, they still talk on, like, you know, the beef between Tupac and Biggie, but they more so talk on like the creation, like, you know, I guess if you're being creative in the beef or in the drama, then maybe some things would stand out, and that's overall, like, you know, talking on, like, you know, the diss tracks that they've done with each other. But it's like eventually, you know, it gets to a point where it's all like, that music isn't impactful. It's only impactful because it was a dope diss track. It wasn't impactful like it helped out communities, like Tupac's song, like Changes or Life Goes On. You know, I listen to them songs more than I listen to the song he did about Biggie and P Diddy, Hit 'Em Up. I like Changes and all the other songs he did. There's, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of good songs that he did besides Hit 'Em Up, and I feel like people would hear that Hit 'Em Up and just be like, oh, okay, you know, that was the best song of all time. That was Tupac's best song of all time. And I'm like, honestly, it wasn't. It was just a dope diss track. Yeah, it's probably his best diss track of all time, but it wasn't his best song of all time. There's so many songs that he did that was a lot better than that. So, but and then even with Biggie, it was like his song Hypnotized. Bro, I'm telling you, that song, I'm like, I never really sat down and listened to Biggie Smalls like diss track and things like one that he did. But to, like, you know, just to sit down and listen to a song that has such an impact like that. And I know Hypnotized, like, I remember they played that song when they were driving his body away, I believe to his grave on the day of his funeral. But yeah, and it's like, you know, like that, and that just sucks, where it's like it gets to a point where it's like, you know, people are dying, people are getting hurt, and that's why I'm like, you know, beefing and drama, like, that's why it's, you know, there's just that modern day of it now, where it's like, you know, people ain't so much like Gabby Hanna or Trisha Paytas or whoever ain't really dying by it, but it's like, y'all are being like mentally hurt by this stuff, where it's like, and then got to a point where you guys is like up on like camera, like crying your eyes out. And it's stuff like that, and I see it, and it's just like, man, you know, it's just, you laugh about it, and you find it funny, because it's like, you set yourself up for that. And that's overall, like, when and you know, now, like, talking on myself and things, like, you know, the beef and the drama I got into, I set myself up for that beef and drama. Like, yeah, I know I might have not started it, but I added more to it. And so then it led me to a situation where I'm, you know, saying videos or making videos like, oh, take me off of YouTube, do this, do that. And it was like, where was all that stuff leading me? I was still getting hate at the end of the day. So that's why I'm like, this is honestly how you move on. You have to focus on yourself. Like, that was pretty much like the whole like motive of this episode. Like, this is like the key, thing in life to just really like help you and stuff. But it's like, you have to move on and you have to focus on yourself. You have to do things that's going to benefit you, not benefit others, not benefit an audience, but benefit you. So then it gets to a point where it is benefiting an audience. So it's you being creative, you doing things that overall like put you in a situation where you're happy. And you're not in a situation like you're crying tears of joy. You're not just out here crying because you're so upset. You're so triggered and just, depressed and all these other different things. You're happy. You're crying because you're happy. That's what people should be thriving for. Like, but all of this other stuff, that's why it's like when I see it, I'm just like, man, it's wild, it's crazy. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's only doing it. All that stuff, it's it's only here to just give people a show. It's like they ain't gonna like. There's like beefs and dramas that's happened like back then that I don't remember. If somebody brings it up now, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened, huh? Okay, but it's like, yeah, I'm not paying attention to it. I don't care for it, but I'm like, oh okay, yeah, I remember when that happened. But it's like to see it where it's like, or even when Drake and Meek Mill when they got into it. Yeah, it was like it did its thing, but to know that they're cool now, that was more impactful than the diss tracks that they were doing on each other and the tweets that they were making about each other and everything else. So it's like to see what they've became now, where Drake is releasing a shoe and Meek Mill. I haven't really been following Meek Mill. I'm like, I don't think I follow him at all on social media, but I'm pretty sure he's out here making moves. Yeah, he is, because I remember he released an album not too long ago and it did pretty well. So it's like that's the thing, you gotta move on and make moves and stuff. So it's like you just gotta keep moving at all times. You can't be in a situation where it's like you're not moving or you're moving but in the wrong direction. It's like you heading backwards in life where you should be heading forward and stuff. So, but anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this episode and hopefully it's motivated you in some way, shape, or form. But anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching in or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 34 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, make sure you to use my promo code TMossBoss on SeatGeek. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. So, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.